Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Cahill and welcome back to the channel. When I set about filming this video, I accidentally filmed it as a time-lapse instead of a normal video, which reduced my 30 minutes showing you how I'm using my bullet journal as a writer this year from a 30-minute video into a 30-second one. So please enjoy the stop motion vibes of the video I filmed in time-lapse and then sped up slightly, and then once that's done we'll go over everything in more detail. So this is a bullet journal that I'm using this year. It is a Fayco paper bullet journal. I'm really enjoying it so far. And let's take a closer look at all of these spreads I am using specifically as a writer this year. Now, I'm going to be fairly honest. Most of this is more keyed to the mental self-care side of writing rather than actual physical writing itself, mostly because that is something that I personally want to make sure that I focus on as a writer, because it is that side that I think is holding me back. So these things are just to give me a little boost in those areas. If there's anything else that I think of that I want to have as a writer in here, I will put that in there. And there are a lot of spreads which I would have used, but they are going to be sort of encased in the spreads that I have currently done. Things like writing tracking, I'm going to be using my Focus To Do app. I'm also going to be using my monthly calendars to stick a sticker on the days that I have done some writing. I felt that didn't warrant its own spread. Free writing is something else I like to do, but again, that is sort of encased in the monthly spreads. It doesn't need its own spread. So the first two that we have here, we'll start with the first, the Refill My Creative Well spread. This is something that I have a lot of issue with. I rarely take the time to sit and replenish my creative well. I would rather sit there and do things which aren't productive towards my writing self-care. So I will scroll through YouTube, I'll scroll through TikTok, I will watch Netflix, things like that. And those aren't inherently bad, but I sort of get stuck in this sort of cycle of watching them instead of moving on to anything else. So Refeed My Creative Well are just things that I can do if I am feeling unmotivated, if I'm feeling uncreative. Obviously you've got my really terrible picture of a well there, but that is the best that I could do. So I'm going to refer to this if I ever am feeling a little bit lost, feeling a little bit unmotivated, feeling like creating is a struggle. So I can do things like read a book, take a walk, chat to someone, listen to a podcast, which is something I want to do more of this year anyway. Watch my favorite episode of a TV show, something that I enjoy watching rather than watching something just for the sake of watching something. Just take a break, have some solitude, do some drawing, listen to some music. Something else that I can focus on that is going to sort of help bring the inspiration back a little bit. And the next one I've got is my things to try list. It is only very short at the moment, as I discover new things I want to try related to writing, which I think will help boost my writing and my study of writing, which is something else I want to try and do this year, up my level a little bit because I'm a bit too comfortable where I am. These are the things I want to try, and hopefully the aim is to try and get everything on my things to try list, which will be updated as the year goes on, completed by the end of the year. So far we've got write a short story, which I haven't done since university. listen to an audiobook, which I can't do because I get too distracted, but I'm going to give it my darndest try this year. Write a poem, again, haven't done since university. Character questionnaire, which is just part of my whole learning more about writing, reading a craft book, and annotating an actual book is also something I want to try this year. This gives me a single place to put all of these things that I want to try. It's written down, so it's something I can refer back to if I want to, when I'm doing any of my writing experiment videos this year. This is something that I could do in regards to those videos. If there's something specific that I want to learn or want to do, if I'm feeling a bit stuck or if I'm feeling a bit uninspired, again, I can probably come to this page and, you know, give a short story or a poem a try something else that is writing related but also creative, and see if that sort of helps unstick something. So I'm really excited to get to trying all of these things this year. The next spread I think is my most important spread that I'm going to be doing in this bullet journal, which is my signs of burnout. I feel like I get burnt out quite easily. I procrastinate a lot. I get distracted a lot. I'm always feeling unmotivated, and I feel like those are all precursor signs of burnout. I do lots and then I do nothing. Maybe my brain just has a really short wick to it and it just burns out way too easily. Maybe there's different factors into how I'm feeling. I don't know, we'll find out. But I think this is very important for me in order to help maintain my consistency and my writing for the year. And obviously the purpose of this is if I start feeling any of these signs, then I know it's time for me to stop, take a step back instead of pushing on and going forward. So it is basically all of the signs of burnout. We have lack of motivation, physical fatigue, loss of interest, procrastination, or me, dreading work, increased self-doubt, irritability, and unhealthy comparisons to others. If I feel like these, because this is my life 24/7, if I feel like these increase, then I know it's time for me to stop. It's fine. And then here's just a little micro break every hour checklist to stop myself from starting to feel the effects of the burnout. Obviously, giving yourself a rest breaks every so often so you're not working as hard and you don't work yourself out. I'm going to be looking to this a lot during this year just to keep myself and my brain in check so I can do my best work possible without feeling any negative effects. Next is my mental reminders. Again, this is all to do with self-care and mental self-care, because I tend to ignore any of the sort of symptoms or stresses that my body is trying to yell at me, and I push through because I've got so much I need to do. I don't have time to stop and take a break, but that doesn't help contribute to anything. So if I'm tired, I'll take a nap. If I'm stressed, I'll walk. If I'm angry, I'll exercise. I'm not looking forward to that. If I'm burned out, I'll read. Again, going back to refilling that creative well. If I'm feeling lost, meditate. Overthinking, let's do some writing, guys. If I'm feeling inspired, I'll create. And that doesn't necessarily mean writing. That can be creative in any way. And if I'm uninspired, I will cut my screen time. Again, so I don't get lost in just watching instead of finding something new to inspire me to do something else. Next we have this is a really simple spread that I've got any creative writing exercises that I find online that I would really like to try and do, whether that is prompts, whether that is not including the letter E in 200 words worth of work, you know, fun little writing exercises, things like that. Character work, plot work, subplot work, anything to sort of help me learn and try new ways of doing things, we'll write down here. And then all of the writing experiments I would like to try, and those can be writing experiments for absolutely anything. Think Elon Musk's 5-minute productivity hack think me writing blindfolded, or me testing colour theory in regards to writing. We're going to stick those all on there so I can refer to those for future videos, future fun times to have with writing, because I feel it's very important for me to try and have fun with writing this year. Make it fun, not make it a chore. We'll see if it keeps me motivated. Next we have, I don't know which one's next. Next, another really, really simple one. This is my writing quotes. So any quotes that I enjoy or I feel resonate with me, whether that is an author quote, a quote from another writer, or a quote from a book that I really enjoy, is going to go down on this page as sort of ready to read inspiration if I am feeling a little bit uninspired. Then we've got something new, which is my Commonplace spread. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because, and I don't quite understand why, I read something about, I think I was looking on my For You page on YouTube, and I saw this thing for a Commonplace book, and I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. So I read up what a Commonplace book was, and it is a book where you will write down knowledge, ideas, quotes and observations from other sources, things that you find interesting. So instead of doing an entire book of that, you know, start something I don't know if I'm going to want to continue, I thought it'd be a good idea to add it to my bullet journal as a sort of little spread. So if there is anything that I'm online and I happen to see, or something that I feel like I might want to look into a bit further that I find super interesting, things that I could potentially use to inspire me for new stories, scenes, characters, things like that as well, which I think could help, they will go down in my Commonplace book. This does include, you know, so I thought that would be really interesting to try and see what inspiration or new ideas come from observing other things. And there was another spread in here which I completely bypassed because I didn't put a sticky note on it, because it was immediately after this spread and I forgot that I needed to just turn a page. This is very, very writing related, heavy. This is my writing tracker for the year. This is how I'm going to keep an eye on the progress that I am making in all of my stories. So we've got Beneath the Hawthorn Lies, and so we covet Of Stars and Smoke and Other Intangible Things, Bird Whistle House, and then we've got They Lead the Hunt on the other page. I have some spare pages at the back if I start a new novel, God forbid, hopefully I don't. I have enough to work on. So the purpose of this is for me to keep track of where I was at this project at the beginning of the year, and then track where I am at the end of the year. Now, all of these are going to be different at the end of the year than they are at the beginning of the year, depending on how much I work on it. But I've gone through all of these novels and I have checked what the status is for all of these novels. So Beneath the Hawthorn Lies, I'm currently on draft 3. And So We Covet, I'm currently on draft 4. Brainstorming for Bird Whistle House, I'm currently in the beta stage of Stars and Smoke and Other Intangible Things. That's why that is empty. So these squares are the chapters, scenes, depending on which way I have it planned in Scrivener, that I have left to complete until draft 3, for example, is completed. So every time I will complete writing a chapter for Beneath the Hawthorn Lies, I will colour it in. And then I will colour in D3 because that has been completed. I'll put another square up here that will be for the beta stage for Beneath the Hawthorn Lies, which I'm trying to get to next year. And then I might add a little line or two here in regards to the beta stage, when it started, when it ended. And then that will be coloured in once the beta stage is complete. And then the next status would then be rereads, replanning. And then we'll do the squares again for the revision, or if I'm going to be doing any restructuring of the novel, there'll be a status saying replotting, and any major replots I will add to the page, and I will tick those off as those replots are done until we get back to all of the squares for when we're physically writing the novel. Bird Whistle House. The status right now is brainstorming, so these are the 4 things I want to brainstorm: characters, plot, timeline, genre. Once those are all sorted out, there will be something else added here, which might be a 0 drafting certain scenes or researching different things, and obviously every status will be added on as I complete it. So instead of me while I've got my focus to do app, to look back and see how long or how many hours I have worked on each of these single projects, this spread in the bullet journal is going to show me where I started at the beginning of the year and how much work and what type of work I have put into the novel itself. I was going to add dates to this. I did a previous spread before with all of my novels where I would write the date in one column and then what I accomplished on that specific date, so I could see how long it took me to do all of those things. I'm not going to do that with this. The dates, I feel, are not as important as the end result. So really looking forward to making some really good project in all of my novels this year, and hopefully not starting anymore. So those were all of the spreads that I'm going to be using this year as a write-up. I'm going to link below the other 2 videos that I have in regards to writer spreads and bullet journals down below, which has a bunch more ideas that you could use if you want to use them for your own bullet journal. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you later.